and clearly you're the same way, Marsha. Whenever I started to get out of organized religion and into spirituality, because they're totally different things, and I know all of us here are the same way, it logically led to political activism. You know, because now I was an activist before I became spiritual, but in my opinion, even when I was in the corporate Christian church, I looked at Yeshua Christ as the biggest political activist ever. So, it was obvious to me that anybody of great faith, of great spirit, they oppose systemic corruption no matter when or where they are. And so it seems with what you were saying earlier, you were more politically activist inclined before you got onto this path, but you see clearly you still see the same melding, right?
Oh, yes. I mean, when you, I mean, because let's just be honest. As far as America is concerned, what is viewed as, and that's why I always say America's version of Christianity or even European Christianity, it was it was steeped in creating racism. Like there's no way around it. I mean, there's just no way if you read the Bible, and we're looking at King James's version of the Bible because that's what most people kind of hang their hat on, and that's what was passed out, first. But even if you look at it, like one of the moments for me and just my activism, it was shortly after like I'd gone through something, and this is after I'd done like the Nation of Islam, and I'd done the Nation of Gods and Earths, and all of these other things. And so I got into a fearful state about something. I had a stalker, okay? And this went on for like 6 months. I'm living in Atlanta, and I'm calling the police and like never, find the person. And so I get into and like I'm fearful. At the time I have like a 3-year-old son, and I'm like, the worst thing, or the second worst thing that could happen, the stalker's gonna rape me and let my son live. Worst case scenario, gonna rape me, kill my son. So, I'm just like in that state. Okay. Couldn't hardly sleep. I'm meditating, one Saturday, and Spirit was like, go to church. Okay. And Spirit was very specific in what church. And it was a pastor that I absolutely did not know, but did not like, because I was from a small town like Fort Valley. I'm living in Atlanta. And Spirit was like, call your best friend who happened to go to World Changers, Creflo Dollar on the TV, which was like a no. Okay. In what I knew and what I thought I knew. And that's why I actually learned to read the Bible. That was never a big thing in the AME church, from my experience. You get one scripture and then you just kind of go off, but was never told, read the Bible, and encouraged to read it. And so I'm going through that phase, and I'm like locked in, even though you should never do something out of fear, but it helped me through some moments in my life. And so then we have the Trayvon Martin. Now we're moving into 2015, because all of that is like 2008. And we have the Trayvon, we have the Michael Brown, we have the Sandra Bland, all of these things occurring. And I'm like, hold on. I know Revelations says that Jesus has skin of burnt bronze. And if you burn a piece of toast, there's no light burnt. So you can play with that word all you want to. It was going to Creflo Dollar's church. It was like, it's a map in there. Why don't y'all look up the map? And why don't you look up these places? And why don't you have a dictionary while you're reading it, so you can really see what's going on? And so I'm just like struggling, because they're saying, well, it doesn't matter what color Jesus was, he's invisible, because, it like just goes through these phases of what have you. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, all this stuff is happening to Black people. The police are targeting Black people. Rogue officers are absolutely targeting Black people. We can pretend that it's not happening, but it is right in our faces. And I'm like, God, show me in the Bible where the reflection of God, because things have to match up. And I was led in that moment to Revelations, I think it's 4:3, and it talks about God sitting in a throne. He sat in a throne surrounded by rainbows, but he was of, I think it was a carnithian stone, and it mentioned some other stones. And I go look up those stones, and I'm like, hold on, this is a reflection of me.
Like onyx.
Okay. But and it's sitting right there. But nobody has expressed this at this point in my life. Nobody from a pulpit. And so I'm like, hold on. If I've been told I need to, why does it, when someone would say, okay, it doesn't matter what color he was. Well, if it didn't matter, then why you said it was white? And why did you try to convince us that his parents hid him in Africa and he didn't stand out? Like, how the hell is that? Are you serious?